And then, of course, we have Trump when he was on the campaign trail. He's going to bring down prices on the first day. He's going to end the war in Ukraine on day one in 24 hours. You know, all of these things he said he's going to do. And none of those things has he followed through with exception of the uh, deportations, the mass deportations, the unconstitutional excuse me, I can't talk. The unconstitutional deportations, the kidnapping and disappearing of your friends and family, your neighbors, and they're being taken away and they're being denied due process. Now, here's another thing. Okay, everybody's always talking about the Constitution and they're trying to repeal birthright citizenship, and they're trying to say, I don't know who they are, but I'm just as a whole trying to say that if you're not from this country, you are not entitled to be covered under our Constitution. Well, let me bring this up. Let me run something by you. If you go to another country, say being an American and you go to Italy, okay, and you do something or something happens to you, the truth of the matter is you have to go by their rules and their laws. Because while you're in their country, you are subject to their rules and their laws. So therefore, you are covered by the Constitution that the country of Italy has. I think. Not entirely sure. That is something that I should probably look up and I should Google it to make sure that what I'm saying is the truth. But if you're in another country and you are the victim of a crime, you still have the right to report that crime. And they have the obligation to investigate that crime. So if it's true in another country, then it's going to be true in this country. If you're not a citizen of this country, if you're here visiting, or if you have permanent status or whatever, you are covered by the United States Constitution. That's just the way it works. When you're in another country, you're covered by their laws. I'm pretty sure that's how that works. I mean, don't quote me on it because I'm not entirely sure, but it makes sense, you know. So, oh, you're not from here? No, you can't report that. You can't report that crime. Too bad. You're a victim of a robbery. Well, that's your tough luck. It's not like that. Pretty sure it's not like that. But anyway, as I was saying, we need right now more than ever. We need candidates for elected office to be our leaders. We need them to be fighters. We do not need them to say, "Oh, well, gee, I don't know. I'll look into that," and then just shine you on. The other thing that needs to happen, and this is an absolute must, is money's got to get out of politics. See what's happened with money being in politics, with Citizens United being a thing? Okay? What's happened with that is that the rich people, the mega rich people, like Elon Musk rich, buy our elections. They have the money, they have the deepest pockets, so they can do whatever they want. They can hire who they want. They can do what they want, and so they win. Money talks, bullshit walks. That's not the way it should be. It should be he who has the best ideas wins. He who can do the most for this country wins. Or she. Not necessarily just he, it should be he or she. Who has the best ideas should win. You know, get people to listen, and amazing things happen. But the truth is that we this country has never been so rocky in my entire life. This country, the United States of America that I am living in right now, is not the same country that I was born in. And I was born in this country. I was born at Wheat Ridge Lutheran Hospital. Well, it's not Wheat Ridge, it's just Lutheran Hospital in Wheat Ridge. That's where I was born 59 years ago. And it's not the same. The fact that people can get fired because they were talking about Charlie Kirk when he got killed. I mean, come on. We have free speech or don't we? I think we do. That hasn't been repealed and it won't be repealed. Because if it affects those of us on the left, it's going to affect those of you on the right, whoever you are, and you know who you are. The Constitution exists for a reason. It's because the framers did not want to be ruled by another king. And they wanted equal justice under the law. They wanted everything to be equal in this country. The same rules apply to us that apply to someone else. Everything has to be equal. Equal justice under the law. I just said that. But people need to really start thinking for themselves. Just because someone said it doesn't necessarily mean it's true. Just because of what I'm saying right here may not be true. So if you have your doubts, look it up. See if what I'm saying is true. And, put it in the comments. And if I'm wrong, then I'll tell you, I'll say, oh, I'm sorry, I was wrong. This person corrected me, and okay. The other thing is that when Trump is no longer in office, okay, and he does not have it in him to run for an illegal third term, it's just not going to happen. But the there are things in our Constitution that do need to be reworked. As far like, okay, somebody can't work for the United States Postal Service if they have a felony. So if somebody can't work for the Postal Service, then they sure as hell shouldn't be able to run for president. And somebody who wants to run for elected office, honestly, from now on, I think we need a psychological examination of those people, to see if they are mentally fit to do the job that they are being elected to do or running to campaigning to do. If they're not mentally fit to do that job, it needs to be published and we need to know, and somebody needs to say, no, you've got a felony, you can't run. Plus you've got some certain mental illnesses, dealing with some mental health issues, so it wouldn't be a good idea for you to run. You're a narcissist? No, not a good idea. You shouldn't run. Maybe not stop them altogether, but, at least get the truth out there. Because it would have been helpful if in 2015, when Trump came down that golden escalator, if we would have known what we were going to be in for. So that way we could have made, well, I didn't vote for him. People could have made smarter decisions on if you want to vote for that person or not. That to me is something that truly, truly needs to be a thing. Vetting, especially for the President of the United States, because that guy has the nuclear codes, or someday in the hopefully not too distant future, that woman will have the nuclear codes. And they have to be trusted with that. We can't walk around on pins and needles all the time wondering, oh my God, are they going to launch? Are they going to launch? Yikes. That hasn't been the most comfortable feeling the last year and a half, anyway, since Trump won re election, because he's just gotten sicker and sicker with dementia, with the possibility of dementia. We don't know for sure. The possibility of Alzheimer's. We don't know for sure. We can make a good guess, but that's as far as it'll go. Anything else is just an opinion. So there's that. So anyway, that's my rant. Um, that's my take. My name is Rain66. Subscribe to my channel, like, comment, and you have a great night until I talk to you again, hopefully tomorrow.